here are some updates regarding the current status of Aloware when it comes to A2P brand registration. So right now, we have a total of 569 active accounts. Total number of registered brands are 413, and unregistered would be 156. So as you can see, we still have a lot of things to work on when it comes to the brand registration. So I what do you call this? I divided it into two types: the Aloware direct accounts and the resold accounts. So we do have Jackie and Leo from our same social team here in a meeting, so that they would know, because I'll be sending you the list of all the accounts that needs to be chased for them to be registered as well. Okay, but we really have some struggles when it comes to the unregistered brands. Most of these are what do you call this, in trial, but some of the accounts are very unresponsive. One of the things that I'm thinking right now is because there is no deadline anymore. So that's the reason why they're not responding. But we keep on, pushing for all the brands to be registered. Our target for the end of Q2 would be 80%. The target I will be setting the bar higher for Q3, which is 90. And then for Q4, I hope that I can say 100%, but I'll be setting it at around 95%. So do you have any questions with this? None. All right, let me just move on. And then we do have the A2P 10 DLC line campaign registration. There has been a big delay for all the lines or the messaging services to be registered due to billing issues that we encounter for some of our enterprise clients. So right now, these are all the unregistered messaging campaigns. And mind you, this doesn't include yet all those unregistered brands. So there's a lot more, actually. Okay. But yeah, we do have 227 messaging campaigns. And right now, though we do have the new compliance wizard with all the existing Aloware accounts, well, that wizard is not triggered. So we have to, Dan and I, we have to manually register those campaigns moving forward, at least for the existing ones. And the same goes for the resold accounts. So we would need a lot of help from our counterparts from Sim Social to have this done as well. Okay. And then, yeah, so this is just a graph of how many messaging services. So most of it are under Sim Social, but I think some of the listed resellers here are not that active anymore. So we have to handle it directly. All right. Yeah, that's right, Nathan. You can should help. Actually, what do you call this? That would be applicable for all the new accounts signing up in Aloware. So
correct. I think the
yeah.
one thing is existing campaigns or existing campaigns,
Yes.
businesses with existing campaigns can also use it. But you're exactly right. At least right now, the restriction will be enabled, but you would, as an existing account, not be manually filling it out,
Yes.
right? You would just go through. So it could help, but to your point about the existing percentage, you still have to get them to click on the button if they're unregistered.
Yes, that's right. Okay. Thank you so much for that. But I really appreciate all the hard work and help of our engineering and the product team to make that happen. So, and there's still a lot more moving forward. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. Now, this is something that I want to share so that we are all aligned with the A2P 10 DLC charges. Okay, because I've been receiving a lot of questions regarding this one. But this is just for the brand registration. And we're actually, I will have Dan later on discuss the things that we are doing as part of the project of the carrier ops team to keep you informed about the changes from Twilio's side. Okay, now, so going back, A2P 10 DLC charges, the brand registration. So remember, if a customer would submit it, it's just $4, even though it's unverified. But usually there's an external ID attached to it when they submit it. But if there's none, then there would be no charge. So that is where the $44 coming from. $4 for the brand submission, and then $40 for the secondary vetting fee. Okay. Now, if of course we do have clients who wants their TCRs appealed. If it's gonna be done within the next 45 days, then that's free. But if they would like to have their TCRs re-vetted, that's gonna be additional $40 one-time fee. And they have Twilio offered an enhanced vetting. It's $95, but there's a disclosure that there's no guarantee that it would improve the trust score. But based on experience, when it comes to the usual appeal, the scores improve, but it still doesn't reach the next tier to get them more throughput. So we were advised to, I'll go ahead and discuss it later on too. But yeah, these are the charges for the 10 DLC. And then we do have the line campaign registration. So according to Twilio, okay, if it's a failed campaign registration, that's just no, there's no charge for it. But if it's successful, if it's a successful campaign, that's a $50 one-time fee. And then there would be a monthly charge per campaign. So for example, they have 10 numbers. They just want to have one campaign, including those 10 numbers, then that's going to be $50 plus whatever the campaign use case they used. So usually the standard is $10, and we don't really advise them to register their lines under low volume mix campaign. It's causing a lot of problems. They might hit the limit set by T-Mobile. So that's the reason why we're just pushing, at least when when the product team deployed the new compliance wizard, it has been how do I put it, quote unquote, promoted the standard campaigns and not the low volume mixed ones. Okay, I think I do have all right. Yeah, I'll go ahead and discuss that later on, Natalie. Let me just so here are the campaign use cases. So I highlighted the two most used standard campaign use case that I've seen in my entire stay here in Aloware. So that's customer care and marketing. Some of them use mixed use case, but also I would not advise the clients to use that, not unless they would just have one campaign in their account, because it has a lower throughput compared to marketing and customer care. All the details will be included on the project that Dan created. So yeah, so these are the usual standard campaign use cases. Next, these are the things that I want you to take note of. We've been receiving some messages, or sorry, communications from Twilio regarding accounts being non-compliant. So I would highly encourage our solution sales team to be familiar with the forbidden categories that our carrier set. So these are the, of course, we do have clients who do financial services, but as long as they're not sending this type of messages, then we're all good. Okay, so loans, short-term, high-interest loans, so anything that has to do with loans and cryptocurrency, that's not allowed. They're gonna be their messages are going to be filtered. And then if it's not remediated, most likely their campaign can be also filtered, or their account as a whole. So we don't want that to happen. All right, and another what do you call this topic is one of the types of messages that are forbidden is the debt collection. So That's one. And then we do have this third-party lead generation services, wherein the companies that buy, sell, or share consumer information, I think that's illegal, not only in US and Canada, but of course, our A2P messaging shouldn't be used as an avenue to, buy and sell consumer information. And then, get rich quick schemes. Most likely these are scams. So yeah, these are not allowed as well. And then what else? Illegal substances, gambling, and the shaft use cases. Now, what would be the possible outcomes if they still use this? So for example, let me use one type of forbidden message. For example, it's a pyramid scheme, and then a lot of people would opt out of that message. Then their opt-out rate would reach and go over the limit or the maximum allowable opt-out rate, and then their account will be flagged for non-compliance SMS violation. So they have to submit a lot of things to get their account in compliance again. Okay. All right. So yeah, before I proceed with this one, let me go ahead and check. All right. Questions. All right. TCR score and appeal. Okay, so what is a TCR score? So trust score is a score assigned during brand registration with the campaign registry. So we didn't choose that, but the campaign registry is a third party that administers the US wireless carriers new registration system for A2P A2P brands across US. So next, what else? All right, so what's the process? So when an A2P customer profile registration for, I know this is quite jargon. So A2P stands for application to person messaging services. So that's us, Aloware, okay? And then 10 DLC is 10-digit long code. That's the usual phone numbers that we offer to our clients to rent or to activate. So if they're using those phone numbers to message their clients, contacts using the application, which is Aloware, then they need to be registered. And of course, we are asking them requirements to prove that they are a legitimate company to do business. All right. So we submitted to Twilio. We experienced a lot of errors during the registration period last February. But right now, it's I would say it's smoother compared to what we've experienced before, probably because there's a little the influx of submission already. It's lower compared to the one compared when we do have a deadline for it. So yeah, and then Twilio sends this information to TCR for review. All right, now Twilio also submits a brand for secondary vetting. So that gives us that score, the 0 to 100 score. And then the higher the score, the higher the throughput, and the higher the message limits towards US mobile carriers. So right now, it's just T-Mobile who's implementing that limit. Of course, T-Mobile along with Sprint, but other carriers doesn't have that kind of messaging limit. AT&T doesn't have it, right? Now, the brand registration process uses, according to them, to Twilio, they use a reputation algorithm to review specific criteria relating to your company, to the company, and then they assign a trust score afterwards. Now, how do we process appeals? If you do have clients or customers who wants to appeal their TCR score, please advise them to send an email to compliance@aloware.com so that we can go ahead and process it. Usually we're checking their current TCR score and then verify the information that they sent to us to see what needs to be asked from them. It's really a case-to-case basis. So those are the things that we have to do on our end. We have to review the account and the information that they submit to us. So again, the TCR appeal is free within 45 days from the initial release of their TCR score. So that's how it's done. So I think I was able to answer Natalie's question. Right, and then the TCR score will be based on data they provided to us and on their company's brand footprint. So Nathan has a question. Sorry, is there any sort of TCR score? Okay, sorry, yeah, but I do have a specific company in mind when it comes to TCR appeal. Let's take into account Cardone. Cardone is a very they have a very high TCR score for all their accounts with us, aside from the one that they have in Canada, located in Canada, which is YESA. I am actually reviewing the account itself, and I was able to have the score improved. But when we are asking, because it doesn't reach the next year, we're asking Twilio to appeal. I mean, we requested for another appeal for YESA, but they declined since it hasn't been weeks yet. So their brand footprint isn't really, I don't know, established yet. So according to them, they're basing the brand score mostly on the company's brand footprint, their business presence. So that's how it would be. So there are really times that if their score right now is 16, and then after 5 months or 6 months, their score reaches about 45, 50, because their company's presence is better probably, and their footprint is, their reach is wider compared to the time that they initially sent the submission for their brand to be registered. So there's a chance, actually there's a big chance that the appeal would improve the scores. And if not, sometimes we battle it out with Twilio to make sure that the appeal would be in favor of our clients. But of course, I would like to let your clients know, and we're doing that as well, that to set proper expectation, there is really no guarantee. We're trying our best to make sure that their scores would improve, but of course there's really no guarantee to have it improve to our target TCR score for their account. Okay,